Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Grow With Me. I'm your host, Aziza. In today's episode, we are not going to talk about marketing and business as we always do. Well, let's be real. These topics are very much important and we need them for professional growth. But today, we are going to talk about something really important, something that is really valuable, which is the word no. How to say no without losing people, without feeling guilty, and without even looking selfish. How to say no, right? So, yeah, this is basically the purpose of today's episode. Before diving into this episode, I want you to have your favorite drink, whether it's a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a cup of matcha, or maybe a glass of juice or a glass of water, so that you enjoy your drink while listening to today's episode. So, I have a question for you. Why do we feel so much guilt every time we say no? Really, why? And also, how do you feel every time you say no? Do you feel guilty or do you feel free after that? Is it really easy for you to say no or you find it challenging? Well, if you feel it is easy for you to say no, please let me know down below in the comments. Also, if you have some tips and tricks, some advice for us, because we really want to learn. We really want to value the meaning of no. And we really want to learn more. So if you have some tips and tricks for us, well, I would love to hear that. And I think not only me, others as well would love to hear. However, if you find it hard to say no, well, I'm here to tell you not to worry because we are here to learn from each other and to grow together. And this is actually the purpose of the podcast, Grow With Me. I am here to grow and I want you to grow with me. So, yeah, as I said, we are going to talk about something that is really special, something that is really valuable, which is the word no. This word actually has been used, I think, all the time, every day, but although we use this word every day, it still remains one of the hardest to use it peacefully. When I say peacefully, I mean mental peace. Because the thing is that every time we say no, we might experience some mental pressure, some mental distractions, some guilt. And this is what I mean by mental peace. Personally speaking, through my academic journey and my professional growth, I have actually discovered something that is really important about this word. I used to think that saying no meant upsetting people or appearing unhelpful, but with time, with pressure, and the need for deep focus, I realized the truth. I realize that every time you say yes to something that does not serve your true vision, you are somehow whispering a hidden no to yourself, to your time, and to your dreams. Because seriously, when you gracefully decline, for example, a social invitation that you know will drain your energy, you aren't rejecting people. You are choosing yourself. You are choosing focus, deep focus. Let's be real. Every time you receive an invitation, maybe it's a social event, or maybe maybe invitation to go out with your friends, but you don't really feel like going. You don't really feel like seeing anybody. You just want to stay at home with your pajama, or maybe you simply want to relax with your maybe Netflix episodes, things like that, without meeting anybody. But because of that invitation, you feel so much heavy. You feel the heaviness on your shoulder. You feel like if you don't say yes, you will lose these people. Maybe you will feel guilty. You will not even enjoy your vacation or maybe your weekend. Let's say, for example, you got this invitation on a weekend and you wanted actually to spend the weekend at home without seeing anybody. But if you say no to that invitation, you might be spending the whole weekend feeling bad about that no. And instead of enjoying your weekend, with your snacks or maybe with your favorite series, you keep on thinking about the that particular no over and over and over. You will feel guilty. You will feel you will have some mental distractions. You will feel so bad, and in the end, you might even destroy the whole weekend plan. So the thing is that, like, why do we find it so hard sometimes to say no? Are we actually afraid of losing particular people? But let me switch the idea. Put yourself in their situation. And let's say you are the one who invited them, all right? Let's say you are the one who wants to maybe who want to go out and you invited these friends to go with you. If these friends say no to your invitation by, for example, coming up with some excuses like, oh, I am so sorry, I don't think it's possible for me to go because I have other plans. How would you feel? Would you feel fine about it, or you would feel so sad and upset? If you feel fine about it, then why don't you do the same to yourself? Really, think about it this way. Why do we always care about people's reactions and feelings but not ourselves? Why do we always care about their opinions but not our own opinions? Like, seriously, saying no is so easy, really easy. If you're not interested in going out with them, that's okay. That should be fine. And it should be fine for them as well. Like, why do they have to get angry and upset at our no? You want to stay at home, that's fine. You want to go out alone, that's totally fine. You have a life and you have a reason to say no. You have a reason to say no every time you really meant it. All right? So, really, when you say no to an extra responsibility that isn't yours, just because you are too shy to refuse, you aren't actually being selfish. You are simply protecting your inner peace. The the word, okay, the word no doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't need long explanations or endless apologies. Seriously, like the strongest, most authentic no is the one that is gentle, clear, and firm. And nobody owes you any explanation or any apologies. You simply need to say no. You simply need to say no to social events that are not pleasing you. You simply need to say no to people who drain your energy. You simply need to say no when you really want to stay at home and relax. You need to do that. Always remember, your time is your most valuable asset. And those who truly love you and value you will respect your boundaries. Those who, but those who get angry when you say no are usually the ones who benefited the most from you having no boundaries at all. What are your boundaries? How do you feel every time someone forces you to go out with? And how do you feel when you are truly by yourself? Setting boundaries is very much important. You really need to set your boundaries to protect your energy. Because if your boundaries are not set, in this case, everyone can destroy your energy, everyone can drain you easily. So that is why it is very much important to set your boundaries. So, my message to you today is very simple. You just need to practice saying no to the small things that steal your minutes. So you can find the strength to say yes to the big dreams that are waiting for you. Just need to start today. Choose one thing that you will apologize for not doing, just to give that time back to yourself and your focus. Really, just do that. I know it is not easy, but you need to practice. You just need to practice with small things, all right? Every time you practice, celebrate. I know it doesn't make any sense to some people. I know some of you might be like, why do we need to celebrate? Well, it is actually a time to celebrate whenever you say no, because saying no is not easy, and because of that you need to celebrate every time you say no, right? So really think about it and start practicing. So yeah, this is basically everything related to today's episode. I hope today's episode is not really heavy, and I hope it has somehow benefited you. If you have questions, if you have some tips and tricks, if you have some ideas you would like to share regarding today's episode, well, you're always welcome to do that down below. And if you have other topics that you want me to speak about for the next episodes, please let me know down below as well. So, in this case, I wish you a great day. I wish you all the success you need. And until the next time, please take care of yourself, take care of your inner peace, and yeah, take care. Bye bye.